step up and take responsibility for the common good of this institution. We are hearing from an increasing number of students and former students that, contrary to one of the fundamental rules of the college, there is a significant amount of alcohol consumption and, to a lesser extent, marijuana use going on in the dormitories, and that this has been going on for a long time. Equally, or perhaps even more alarming, we are hearing that some underclass students, especially freshmen, have been invited or encouraged to join in this behavior by upperclass students. The reports we're receiving are numerous, sufficiently detailed, and have been delivered with such conviction that we must respond. Now, we realize that most of you are not complicit in this behavior, and that you do your best to abide by the rules of the college. And we thank you for that. Many of you may not even be aware that these things are going on. Those of you who are complicit in this behavior, however, need to remember that your admissions application included a pledge to obey the rules of the college should you be admitted. In fact, your admission to the college was in part predicated on your pledge. Second, do not let an apparent lack of action on the college's part lead you to believe that we condone or will ignore such behavior. Make no mistake, those of us who lead the college have seen the importance and efficacy of our rules of residence over many years. When we have sufficient evidence that rules are being violated and evidence of who the violators are, we will act just as we have acted many times in the past. Finally, those of you who are complicit need to understand the importance of these rules in the first place. Every rule of residence exists to further the educational and religious mission of the college. You know that this is no ordinary college. You know that unlike most other schools, you can't go to class unprepared, tired, hungover, or high. We need students who are serious about their studies and to prepare well enough to participate productively in class discussions. Our residence halls must be places where study, conversation, prayer, and preparation can take place. There is ample evidence that unchecked undergraduate use of alcohol in residence halls can quickly lead to an atmosphere where study, sleep, and prayer are nearly impossible. In some cases, it can lead to alcohol abuse and dependency. It can lead to fornication. It can leave students in no condition to participate effectively in class. For its part, marijuana has addictive properties, and its use can directly compromise, sometimes permanently, the very faculties our education relies on and is designed to improve. It can weaken the intellect, impede imagination and memory, and disorder the senses. The college simply cannot condone student use of marijuana, regardless of what the civil law might say. Unlike a small group of quote-unquote wise undergraduates on this campus who think they know better and disobey our rules of residence, those of us who have been here for many years and are responsible for safeguarding this institution know that the community needs these rules and that they need to be enforced. Our aim is to foster the Christian virtues of temperance and chastity, and to make the demanding work required by our academic program possible. It's as simple as that. The behavior I am talking about can hurt the individuals involved in the ways I have outlined, and perhaps more importantly, effectively place them outside of and in hostility to this community. A community which exists for their benefit. It also hurts the college in significant ways. It creates division in the student body and threatens student and faculty morale. We are already seeing evidence that the alcohol and marijuana subculture on the campus has contributed to disappointed and disillusioned students withdrawing from the college. I have reason to believe that it is harming our reputation and that it is affecting our ability to recruit students. I am sure it is having a negative impact on academic performance and on the quality of our classes. We can only solve this problem with your help. We don't have cameras in your room or a secret police force. Any underclassman who has been drawn into this behavior or is otherwise participating in it should truthfully share any information you have with Mr. Kugler. If you help us get to the bottom of this, you will not be expelled for your participation. Any upperclassmen who are responsible for creating and maintaining this subculture should do the courageous, honorable, and just thing. Admit what you've done and rectify the injustice that's been done to the community. Lastly, any student who has information to share about this matter should do so, knowing that in so doing you will be discharging your duty to your friends, fellow students, and to the common good. Now, it would not be surprising if many of you might think that the most noble thing to do in this situation is to remain silent, hoping to protect yourself, your friends, and your fellow students from any risk of harm. Looked at superficially and with regard only to the short term, this appears to be an attractive position. But you must not think superficially about this issue or think only about the short term. Rather, I implore you to think deeply about this important question. In the long term, where lies the greatest harm? Heed Socrates' teaching from our freshman philosophy tutorial. Quote, "The doer of wrong is more unhappy if he does not meet with justice, less unhappy if he pays the penalty and suffers a just punishment from gods and men." Unquote. With respect to the common good, I would say this: withholding relevant information essentially enables the behavior in question and makes it difficult, if not impossible, for the college to deal effectively and in fundamental ways with the problems this behavior creates. Now to conclude. As you know, the college faces many external threats. These threats are liable to get more pronounced and demand more of our time and attention as the Biden administration and its progressive agenda gain momentum. It pains me to be speaking to you in this way, but we are presently facing a serious internal threat, which is harming the college right now and which must be addressed. Help us to do so and continue to pray fervently for the college's well-being. Thank you very much.